We're 5 weeks away from the Breeders' Cup Classic. Trainers have already kind of formulated their game plans, what races they're going to use to prep. It's all a big production.
There's one down.
Excited about today. It's not like any other job.
Hey, Princess. How you doing?
There's a lot of anticipation.
They're all in line.
I'll be climbing the walls, getting extremely anxious.
There's no such thing as a lucky box or a lucky TV. Preparation is key.
It's a photo finish.
It's get the horse to the Classic and make sure, if possible, that they run their best race on that day. It's an art.
The atmosphere, the horses, the sunrise. You can't even imagine it. It's beautiful. 5 o'clock in the morning, all the horses coming out at the same time. It's the best thing in the world. Yeah.
Morning, Rosie.
Hey.
I didn't know you were a movie star. Can I get your autograph?
Good morning, can I help you? Clocker's Corner is a place where the jockeys, trainers, owners come and get coffee, donuts, breakfast, and they look at the horses. It's a half and half chocolate with coffee. Next guest. Almost all the customers already know what they want, so I get it ready as soon as I see them walking up the steps. Didn't you guys win yesterday? I've been working at this racetrack for 40 years, 9 months, and 2 days. This is Bob BAFFERT. He was a jockey.
Rosie.
Yes, Bob.
I'm ready for my coffee, honey.
All right, you got it.
Rosie and I go way back.
Yeah.
She's my #1 fan.
Yes. Good luck today.
Thank you, babe.
Can I help you? I just love this place. It's a big family.
Rosie, am I the nicest guy here?
The second to the nicest, Bob BAFFERT first.
People don't really realize the care that the horses get between 5 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock. They've got dedicated people that take care of them. All the work's been done by the time we get over there in the paddock. Everything okay, David? That's a bit of his personality. Don't bother me. He's already trained this morning, and now he's just sanding in some hot water and Epsom salt, sort of help his feet out a little bit. Well, they like that.
I know you like him. Does he like you?
I don't think so. I've been actively involved in the business since 1971. To develop a horse and get him to the Classic and then to have him win kind of keeps me around a little bit. I've never won it. I've been second in it a couple times. When Code of Honor won the Travers last month, that was 4th Travers for me.
Code of Honor is gaining ground.
There's only one other trainer who's won any more.
Code of Honor. 21 years since his last Travers win.
Does winning the Travers ever get old?
No, it doesn't get old. That's too long. I have won Jockey Club Gold Cup 3 times. Hopefully Saturday will be the 4th also. We got it?
Yes, thank you.
Takes me a little while to get loosened up here.
Welcome back to Santa Anita Park.
Every racetrack has its own personality. The barn area, the backside, is one of the most visually stunning places that you'll find. Santa Anita has got a lot of history. I mean, you go back through those barns and some of the greatest horses in the history of horse racing have been stabled here. It's a walk back through time.
How you doing, guys? Hey, how you doing? What we do before every major race is sort of do our reconnaissance. How you doing, man?
Good.
How's your arm?
Good.
Good,
yeah.
man.
I got lucky, actually.
I wouldn't necessarily call it investigative journalism, but unless you come back here and do your due diligence, so to speak, you won't know what the big stories are. There have been mornings where probably logged 10 miles back here and maybe talked to like one person. Is John around? On the track. Of course he's on the track. Come back here a little later in the morning?
Yeah, like about 10 maybe? Or
yeah. See, this is Murphy's Law. of racetrack preparation. Let me see if he's in here first. Hang on. I think he's at the other end. Herding cats, I believe, is the phrase, right? At least it's a beautiful office, right? And we have 6 horses in the Awesome again. There's one heavy favorite, McKinsey, trained by Bob BAFFERT.
Any anxiety being back here, Bob?
Not really, you know. 1 to 9, you know, you want to win, but it's always that last race, that last hurdle, you know, to get him through. But it's a privilege to run at Santa Anita. All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
One of the things about Bob, he has a very keen intuition about his horses. He trains a lot on feel.
Oh, he's so versatile. He's got tactical speed.
Yeah, you know what? I think Mike's finally got him figured out that he's not one that wants to go out there and be on the engine. He can sit, and he's got gear.
One thing we've learned in covering these races over the years is sometimes the horses that look like they're going to be the big guns in the Breeders' Cup Classic, it doesn't always turn out that way.
It's going to be interesting the way this race sets up. John's horse showed good speed last time. I've got speed. We didn't overtrain him going into this one because I think the bigger prize is obviously in 5 weeks.
You had to love his race in the Pacific Classic.
I was real proud of him.
So now the big question is, if you win, what the hell's Brittany going to do?
She'll be going nuts. Yeah.
Draft Victor's chasing gaily. Higher Power in full flight. Higher Power and Flavion Pratt win well. Draft Vic second.
Well, I'm Brittany Eurton. He's Pete Eurton.
I'm Pete Eurton.
Daughter, dad.
Yeah, and
We've
been
both
together
work in
32
horse
years.
racing.
Fixing her whole hair so she looks good.
She has to look pretty for camera, right?
Forgot to tell you, she bites people in the face.
Glad that's over. Just take me through coming into the race. We spend a lot of time talking about how the horses are doing or what race they're pointing towards.
She's great at
how
getting
difficult
intel.
it's going to come up. For me, I'm already doing this research for work, so...
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll take what she has to say with more than a grain of salt, for sure. Plus, it gives me a reason to call her.
Oh, Draft came out to say hello. Hi, big boy.
What are you doing?
It's just really special to see the connection those that work in this industry have with these animals. Those are the stories that I really enjoy sharing.
The interview that you did for the Pennsylvania Derby.
SAFFIE Joseph.
I mean, that was emotional, that guy. I mean, I felt it.
To have a horse like this that could point towards the Breeders' Cup Classic, what does that mean to you?
It means everything. Since I was 3 years old, this is my life. And it's come through.
Working the race is difficult for me because I'm biased.
Last and surely not least is draft pick for my father, Peter Eurton.
When he was running in the Pacific Classic, for him to run second, well, everybody saw how I felt about that. I'll scream for second and third.
Yeah, she
Come
will.
on, it's a big deal.
Yeah, me and Randy were talking about trying to get you on film tomorrow.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that
We're
means...
gonna we have a little bit of an advantage being here and being able to train over the track. I don't know why he's a big underdog.
I think it's because it's who he's facing. The #1 rated horse in the Classic division.
I think there's a whole lot more pressure when you're the favorite. But this horse loves this racetrack. That's what he has over the horses that come in. But McKinsey, he likes it too. Can you beat McKinsey tomorrow, huh? Because if you beat him, you know you win the race.
McKinsey is a 1 to 9 favorite, and he has 2 racing legends in his corner, trainer Bob BAFFERT and jockey Mike Smith.
I'm just watching Midnight Bisou warm up right now. She looks nice and happy. Most of the time I ride her, but you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You're blessed to be in these kind of decisions because you're riding some really good horses, but they're also tough because you can only ride one. But McKinsey is you know, the big horse running for the Classic and the Breeders' Cup this year, and he preps today, and so we had to stay here to ride him, and then of course Johnny Velasquez is going to ride her there.
It's tough to be a top jockey.
Riders up.
Midnight Bisou is currently undefeated this year, and she's got 2 races left this year. This one today, the Beldame, and then it's the Breeders' Cup. It would be an incredible campaign to be able to finish off as undefeated, especially taking down the Breeders' Cup distaff.
So she's going to sail. Are you going to retain anything, or?
You know, we'll see what happens. We can talk about it. It's just, but it's, so how do I answer, like, would we consider running against the boys when we're selling her? But so I can answer that. We have Midnight Bisou entered in the Night of the Stars, the Fasig-Tipton November sale. Bobby, how you doing, buddy? Hey, good luck. Good to see you. And I try not to think about that right now, just because Midnight Bisou has truly been incredibly life-changing. I mean, she's become part of the family.
First one to come up will be the 1-9 favorite Midnight Bisou.
But you know, look, this is a business. The fact that I was able to acquire Midnight Bisou for a mere $80,000 as a 2-year-old, and to think now she's worth millions of dollars. You don't have to be a math expert to understand it's a pretty good return on investment.
They're all in line.
But at this point in time, we're embracing and appreciating all the time we're spending with her to the nth degree, 100%.
They're off. In the Beldame, Midnight Bisou had a good start from that inside post.
I'd rather probably either be BAFFERT to the outside. It's kind of one of those places. You can feel it, right? You felt it without me, without you even knowing the answer, but she's run down inside of there before.
Continue their run up the backstretch. There goes Midnight Bisou now, and she gets even and takes over the lead with a half mile to go. Spring of the Wind is clinging to her, though. She hasn't gone away yet. Around the far turn, Midnight Bisou on the rail. Wildcat makes her move on the outside. These two move away from the others, side by side at the 8 pole. Wildcat trying to make a race of it, but Midnight Bisou's edging the way. And Midnight Bisou just kisses Wildcat goodbye. And she goes on to victory and on to the Breeders' Cup.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You called it. She didn't have an easy trip. You know what I'm saying? She was in that place where you just feel uncomfortable, right? Yeah, but she still did it. She's good.
When you're talking about the Horse of the Year conversation, you must mention the superstar female. That's Midnight Bisou.
She was terrific. Really, really good this year.
Is there anyone that can give her a run for her money?
She's classy, she's tenacious. Elate could give her a run for her money, surely, if she went to the
If she runs there.
Kim, why don't you and Bella will go from the gate?
Okay.
Gate to the wire, are you okay with that? Yes. All right,
We've got a very nice horse, top filly named Elate. We've got the option to go in Breeders' Cup Classic. It brings a lot of interest when the best of the girls are running against the best of the boys, and sometimes they pull it off. And we've also got Tacitus. On a couple occasions, he's been a bit unlucky, but we're hoping that he'll be able to pull it off in the Jockey Gold Cup. I think that would send him on his way to the Breeders' Cup Classic. If you're lucky enough and good enough to get to the winner's circle, you have to feel like you've done something right. I don't know that it's bragging rights, but it's actually just the fact that, you know, you got the job done.
Up next, the thrilling Jockey Club Gold Cup at Belmont Park. It's a playoff atmosphere. It's not win or go home. Instead, it's win and you're in.
All right, this is Vino Rosso,
Translation?
red wine. I think what I really love about training horses is that the results are very concrete, as opposed to the racing part. Things like the Kentucky Derby and the disqualification there, you know, you get to see on a daily basis if the work you're doing is achieving the results you're looking for. Vino Rosso has been a very, very good, solid, consistent campaigner for us, but the Jockey Club Gold Cup, it's the race that we've unfortunately have not been able to win. We've had some very close seconds, you know, so we would certainly like to check that one off, hopefully soon.
And you're in the paddock between the top
The Jockey Club Gold Cup has some key Breeders' Cup contenders. It's a field that's even more accomplished than the field in the Awesome Again from top to bottom. I mean, you've got Code of Honor, who was a very impressive winner of the Travers, along with Tacitus, who he beat in that race. Another fast horse, a good horse, has been running exceptionally well. And Preservationist just comes off a big win. So the Jockey Club Gold Cup is going to have a lot to say about the Breeders' Cup Classic field.
Post time for the Jockey Club Gold Cup.
What I'm watching for is what Code of Honor does, the 3-year-old. Gives you an idea of where the older horses are. If you don't show up on that big day, it doesn't matter. Forget what's happened. It's how they are that day.
They're all in line.
There they go.
They're off in the Jockey Club
Oh,
Gold
they're going
Cup.
to show it on the screen up
And
there.
Vino Rosso to the early lead. Tacitus has been guided now to the outside by Jose Ortiz, and Preservationist is now coming up on their outside to make it 3 together after a 24:02 quarter. Code of Honor is up running in 4th right now. He's 2 lengths off the lead. It is Vino Rosso and Tacitus, and nothing separates these two. Code of Honor now swings up on the outside, and Vino Rosso's in front at the top of the stretch. Code of Honor and Vino Rosso come stride for stride into the final 16. It is Code of Honor on the outside. Vino Rosso, these two will decide a thrilling Jockey Club Gold Cup, and it is very close. It looked like Vino Rosso has edged out Code of Honor on the wire, and then it was Tacitus and Preservationist. Number 3, Vino Rosso was first. It's a photo finish in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. The final time was 2 minutes, .30 seconds.
Thank you. About time.
Ladies and gentlemen, please hold all tickets. There is a steward's inquiry into the stretch run of this race. There is also an objection lodged by Code of Honor against Vino Rosso.
Inquiry objection, there is. I knew it. You got an inquiry. There was some bumping going on.
Once again, the rider of number 2 is claimed foul against number 3, alleging interference in the stretch. There is a steward's inquiry as well. There has been a disqualification in this race. Number 3, Vino Rosso, from 1st to 2nd for interference in the stretch with number 2, Code of Honor. Returning to the winner's circle is Code of Honor.
It's a New York crowd.
Breeders' Cup congratulates Shug McGahee and John Velasquez.
Both horses ran incredible races, and you hate to see it happen like this, but I'm just really proud of Code of Honor. You know, I couldn't be any happier.
Breeders' Cup win in, you're in race. What are those feelings like now?
Well, it's always exciting, you know, and we'll see how he comes back. I'll talk to Mr. Perry and make up our mind.
Johnny! Hold on a minute. One more, Johnny.
Controversy, objection, frustrating loss in the battle, but not the war moving forward for Vino Rosso. Code of Honor, the Jockey Club Gold Cup winner. Welcome back to Santa Anita Park. The start of the prestigious Grade 1. Awesome again.
McKinzie's trying to follow in the footsteps of Accelerate, who won this race last year, then went on to win the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Mike Smith, 26 Breeders' Cup victories, 13 of them right here.
Mike, he and Bob Baffert have developed a chemistry and a trust, and it's very unusual in horse racing to have a scenario in which no other rider has ridden McKinzie in a race, only Mike Smith.
We all right, my man? Let's see what we do here. Yeah. I want to use this race to get ready. You know?
Bob said he's starting to put McKinzie up there with some of the other really top horses.
Even with that familiarity, Mike has said just in the last 4 or 5 races that he's finally figured McKinzie out.
All right, guys.
All right, man.
Mike knows that horse like the back of his hand.
All right, here we go.
McKinzie is the most likely winner, and I'm not brave enough to pick against him in a spot like this. Brittany, what about you?
Well, everybody knows where my heart would be with my father's horse draft pick, but it is McKinzie. No shock there.
Better hope Dad's not listening.
Well, he's watching the horses, so we're good.
Good luck, Brittany. There he is, McKinzie. But how about draft pick? What a story that would be. Is there an upset brewing? We're about to find out. McKinzie, 1-9. It is post time for the Grade 1 Awesome Again Stakes. Frank Mirmati with the call.
And they're off in the Awesome Again. Higher Power stumbled at the start. McKinzie comes out beautifully and takes the lead. Mongolian Groom is up close in the early going. Just behind them, it's Draft Pick in fourth, then Seeking the Soul. Higher Power in between horses, only about 2 lengths off the pace. You cannot get any more compact than this. McKinzie 3 wide, Mongolian Groom is still in front though, and Isotherm second. Mongolian Groom running a good race, he's in cruise control thus far. McKinzie gets his cue and comes after him, trying to collar. Draft Pick is down at the rail. McKinzie right up to Mongolian Groom at the top of the stretch. Mongolian Groom digging in very gamely. McKinzie is a half length behind him, and Mongolian Groom kicks off slightly inside the final 1/8 of a mile. McKinzie is all out, but today belongs to Mongolian Groom. Wire to wire in the Awesome Again under Abel Cedillo. McKinzie settles for second. Higher Power third. Seeking the Soul was fourth.
Is there an upset brewing? You bet there is. Mongolian Groom turns back the challenge of McKinzie.
McKinzie looked like he was primed and ready to go at the top of the stretch, but Mongolian Groom, he ran the race of his life.
You know, I've known and been around Bob since he very first got into the training business. Nobody knew who Bob BAFFERT was. But now, it's almost like, what do you give a guy who has everything, right? He swept the Triple Crown twice. He's got American Pharoah on his resume. But one of the things that you notice about Bob in being around him is that he wants something that's even better. Every year in horse racing, there's always a discussion about legacy, about how a certain horse stacks up with the all-time greats.
And the great thing about the sport is that we think we know, but the reality is it's much easier said than done.